You walk further into the town and you see. You get to closer to the next town, where you start to see fields appear again, and this has been after a 6-hour walk, so the sun is just over the horizon at this point. Where you see the fields start to appear again with scarecrows in them to scare away any unwanted birds or animals that is living off of crops. And as you come closer, you start to see that as you come closer to this town, the field actually just is in a circle around, well, a circle shape around this town from as far as you can see. And within this circle is all the houses, and in the middle of the houses is a church. A huge ass church compared to, well, not only a church, but a cemetery and everything that belongs to it. They are there now.
Sonic will look over to Zoll and speak up a bit.
Do you think we should talk to the people of this church? They gave us information at the last one y'all went to, so they may have more here.
They may know something. You can ask them.
As you walk into the town, bottom left. It should be black for you. Sonic, you should be able to see now. And Zoll, you should also be able to see.
Indeed I can. I wonder the importance of this church is. It's so large.
It may be a symbol of their gods. There are many men of such. Paladins, for example. I've run into many of them.
It's much larger than the other one, though. The one in the other town. And they had two. But I suppose it's a very religious town or something.
Indeed. And there's fewer houses in this area. Sonic would think to himself, I'm going to, and then speak up. I'm going to knock on the house, the doors of each house, and ask if they've seen any children. Sonic thinking it'd be a very straightforward question.
I wouldn't really suggest that.
You could already tell that he was already knocking on the door.
As you knock on the door, at first you don't really get a response, but after the second knock, somebody opens the door. As you look straight up, there is actually nobody, but as you look down, you see a small little girl standing there. Hi.
Hello, little girl. Sonic would say.
Where may your parents be? He would speak up.
My parents are out working in the field.
Is that the same for everyone else in town?
Yes, I think so.
Is it okay if I ask you a quick question before you go?
Yes, sure, go ahead.
What is the purpose of your church?
Well, people get in there when they want to pray for good stuff to happen. And then people get buried there and married there and all the happy stuff and sad stuff and good stuff and bad stuff. For example, last week when my grandfather died, my mother went in there to pray that he had a good trip to the heaven.
I see. So I would just slowly lean down a bit and gently pat the girl's head. Okay, thank you, little lady. I shall be off now. I hope you have a wonderful life.
You too, great sir.
Thank you.
So
I'm
they're heading
gonna-
over toward the church.
Whoa!
I'm gonna try one more house, just in case she didn't know.
Yeah.
Try this one.
Zoll, what do you do first?
He was heading towards, I guess, the front of the church, whichever's the front.
The front is the first opening you see. Any opening you see is the front of the church.
He's moving over that way, and then he'll wait for the others.
Eric seems fascinated by the little girl. Starts playing his instrument to liven up her day a bit while she waits for her parents to get home.
What a nice guy.
Yeah, until Korea's comes back, that is most likely what he does. So yeah, Sonic, you knock on the next door.
I'm gonna knock a little louder because they seemingly can't hear me.
As you knock, once again, that goes about half a minute on the time, onto the time where you're about to knock the second time. Where a little boy comes up to the door. Yo!
What's up, little dude?
You're huge!
Hey, don't worry. One day you'll be bigger than me. Just eat your green bean.
Well, I don't like the green beans. They don't taste very well.
I know, but you want to be big and strong like me, right?
I just want to continue on with my father's work.
What does your father do?
He's a farmer. He works in the field just behind his house.
But you gotta be big and strong and muscular to be able to do that. Just plow all those. You have to have a mighty fine swing to knock down all that hay.
You're right. But that means I have to eat my green beans.
Yes, yes, it does.
And I don't like the green beans.
Just imagine that it's candy.
That's some bad tasting candy.
I know, but it's still candy.
Did you want anything, sir?
I was wondering if you knew if anyone was in town besides children, if there was adults still in town.
The priest most likely, and some of the females who quit the farming job. Most all people here are farmers or priests.
Would he be the head priest, by chance?
Who?
You said there are more than one priest. Is there a head? One in charge of the others?
Well, there is the guy most likely in the church. He's most likely the head priest.
Okay, thank you. I'll leave you be now.
Have a good day, sir.
You too. Eat your green beans, okay?
But I didn't like my green bean as she closes the door.
Put a lot of salt on them, I would yell.
What salt?
It's that white rock that your dad scrapes and puts on the food. They use it to preserve the food, but it's actually a great season.
The boy doesn't respond.
What? Then how did they preserve their meat? It should just spoil instantly.
Is this like a... Oh no, this is part of the church. Is there anything on the front side of the church? Any kind of figures or carvings or anything?
No, it has a 10-foot tall wood stone wall all the way around. No carvings of what you see, at least. The gates are open.
Sonic will enter from the back. Sonic seeing the cathedral-like building in front of him. Would knock on it, the door.
You knock on the door. That door is also open, so you can just see the priest in the church.
So you are the priest the children spoke of.
As you walk in, he turns around. Yeah?
I've come to ask you a question. In a neighboring town, the children have been disappearing. I was wondering if you knew anything about it.
I have heard of the scarecrows disappearing. But I have heard of no children.
Scarecrows, you say?
Yeah. Sometimes my scarecrow disappear and reappear.
I see. I'll remember that.
As you walked in here, how many of my scarecrows did you see?
Plenty. All over the fields. Scare away the birds.
When I check sometimes, I usually count 3, 4.
Did he say he counts 3 or 4, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
But how many did you mean go missing?
The rest of them.
What do you mean the rest of them? How many more were there? He would ask.
You see more than 4?
I seen a couple, but I don't know. I didn't keep track.
you'd say?
All around the town. I have, we posted scarecrows every 50 feet. Most days, we only see 4 of them all around the town. Good day, we see maybe 7.
I see. And what do you do here as the priest?
I pray that the scarecrows be there when I look next time. I wed people. I make it so that my other priests are ready for funerals when they happen. I baptize people in the name of Palor. And sometimes Moradin, depends on what race.
I see. And who is this Palor?
Palor. That is our god.
What is he the god of? The harvest, I might guess.
Nay.
Then might he be the god of?
I remembered this last week.
It was the sun, if it was incorrect.
The sun is at least one of them.
Well, I wasn't here for that. I was in prison, so.
No, last week, as in last week. Real time.
Oh.
Where's the Palor and not in Pool?
Sunlight, strength, and
Oh,
healing.
there. Palor, the god of the sun and healing.
I see. Thank you for your words.
Zoll?
Zoll was making his way up to the gate and looking inside. What does he see in here for me?
As you look in, you see a few priests standing over a open dig site for graves, blessing the grounds before they put in the dead people.
Do any of them look specifically high ranking or maybe higher ranked than the others?
No, one of them is an elf, one of them is a dwarf, and the third looks to be a human, but he has a cape on his over his head, so you can't really see his face.
Are they all busy, or is one of them like almost done or looks like they're done?
The human looks like he's somewhat done.
This one?
And the human is the purple,
Okay.
the one with the hood.
Yes. Zoll's walking over to. This is like a ledge or a wall or something?
It's a small ledge.
Okay. Zoll will walk over and lean over the ledge and call out to the priest. Hello, priest.
Yeah, he closes his book, says a few words, and he looks up. Yeah?
Yes, I'm new in town and I had a couple questions that I'd like to ask if you would be willing to help me.
Alright, sure. He turns around and walks over. What does a good man like you do here?
Ah, yes, I'm actually looking to help a neighboring town. They seem to have had an issue with some of their children missing. Have you or anyone in the town reported anything missing?
We haven't. Well, the only thing that we are actually missing here would be would be the scarecrows. But then again, you're here for children. We don't really have children disappear. One disappeared a few months ago. But he came back.
Oh, he came back? Was he any different?
He was a bit scared. He had a mark on his arm, but that's about it.
Oh, I see.
It didn't take long for him to stop playing with the other children again.
Oh, that's most good then. And you said you're missing scarecrows? What do you mean, missing scarecrows?
Yes, when I started working here, I moved in a few months before the kid was vanished. But when I moved in here, we had many problems with crows, or I heard about many problems with crows and other animals that were feeding on our crops. And so I were here for the last deployment, for the deployment of the last few scarecrows. But when we were done with all of the scarecrows, we were missing almost all of them again.
They just vanished, or did anyone see them, like, as they disappeared or something? Did they, like, walk away or something?
Well, we were trying we try to stay awake some nights to see if they walk away or they just teleport away, but when we're looking at them, the ones we look at stay, as if they know that we are looking at them.
It's very strange. And
maybe some of the children have seen the scarecrows. I don't know. I can't tell you. I know my son usually says that scarecrows keep going away, but...
And the child who disappeared some months ago, was that before or after you heard the scarecrows were disappearing?
Oh, that was after. That was a few months after.
Okay. And has anyone noticed anything else strange going on? Maybe some unusual people, or maybe something else going around?
He looks towards the dwarf standing behind you. Except the dwarves, I don't really like the dwarves. The dwarves are a weird race. I don't think they fit in this kind of environment. Luckily, we only have that one family of dwarves, but there's still, for me, too many.
Zoll looks over at the dwarf, and does he see anything unusual about him?
It looks to be a dwarf casting magic, or trying to bless the ground.
Okay. And the child who disappeared some months ago, where did you find him? Did he just walk back to town, or did you find him somewhere?
I believe he just walked back to town, northeast, in the direction of northeast.
From the direction of northeast, so he points off to the northeast, about that way?
Yes.
Okay. And could you tell me what the name of this town is?
This or the next one?
This town.
Oh, this is Starum.
How do you spell that?
We have the best crops in the land. Well, in the neighboring town. At least.
Oh. And this church here, why is it so large? Is this a very religious town, or?
Well, yeah, we people come up and they once every month. Apparently, we're big enough that once every month, the elders that is not working as a priest, the elders are sacrificed to give us great harvest. So yeah.
What do you mean by sacrifice?
Gone into the church and comes out with only with no head. Well, you know that.
Oh. Soul looks kind of confused and a little disgusted. I see then.
When I heard about it, started a few months ago. A few months before I joined this town. We already bought and paid for our house, so we couldn't really just turn around now that we didn't have any more money. So yeah, we're kind of against that, since Paylor isn't really the kind of guard that takes sacrifices.
Yes, I would imagine not. And how else do you feel about this town? Is there anything unique about it? Anything strange, maybe? Anything of interest, of note?
No. The only interest of note is the scarecrows, but I already talked about those. It's not really a big issue. They keep all the birds away anyway, even though they aren't here. So.
And do you know of the neighboring towns?
No, I came from the continent Adrian. Moved straight here.
Is there not much trade between the towns? Or much information sharing, I would say?
There have been in the past. Sometimes more information trades than others. This time we have been one of the few that haven't actually gotten that much information of our neighboring town. The most towns that we've gotten information from are the towns of Bloglin, which is one of our competitive towns of what is it? One of the competitive towns for our wheat fields. And then straight east, we have the Foresters, which you might guess is a forest town. We trade with those more often than not. They give us material for a church if they or any house if they break, and we give them food, and so we trade straight over.
And where was this town of Bloglin?
Oh, west. Did you guys came from? When did you guys came from?
You came from the southwest.
More west than southwest.
All right.
If you guys came from the sea, just follow the sea around, and at some point you should see Bloglin there.
And you said there's information circulating between the towns and trade. Do you know anything of those two towns? Anything maybe interesting or not?
The most interesting is actually that Bloglin is actually a they're how should I point it? We have the leader of a priest. They have a leader of a goblin.
Is it like a town of goblins or something?
No, it's a humanoid, of course, but a human town. Well, mostly humans. Oh, also over there they have dwarves. Dwarves, humans, a good mixture between those.
That is pretty interesting. Well, thank you for the information. My name is Zoll, by the way, and Zoll will extend his hand.
My name is Max. He grabs the hands and shakes it. So it's nice to meet you.
It was nice meeting you as well. And Zoll will turn around, probably seeing Sonic over here, and walk over to him. Ah, so you made it in as well?
Something? Sonic. Sonic.
Did it tell us what the name of the town that we started in was?
Calculus.
How do you spell that? Alright, thanks.
Where did Sonic go?
I don't know.
And I'm losing frames. Should be back. It's normal.
Oh, you didn't sound like a robot or anything.
No, I did lose all of them. How big is this? 25 for 25. Why am I lacking so much being on here? I don't know. Oh well. Anything else you want to do? Sonic is apparently AFK.
I'm here.
Welcome back.
I've been here.
But you didn't answer.
Yes. Did I hear him say that they were sacrificing people?
Where were you when it was said?
Well, I was up here and I was just...
If you're up there, then no.
I stopped here.
Your microphone's cutting out.
There we go. So I'm going to look to Zoll and begin to speak with him.
I just got done speaking with the priests. He talked to me about how they worship God, their God, and how the scarecrows have gone missing. And they don't know anything about children. I asked him if any children have gone missing here, and he didn't even say anything about that.
But
I talked to another priest, Max, down there. He told me that they had a missing child at one point a couple months ago, but he returned to town. He did also have the mark on him, same as the other town. He also told me about their scarecrow issue and how they go missing if they're not being watched.
that's quite strange. Is there anything else?
He did tell me about some of the other towns, like Durham and Forester's Town. Durham to the northeast and the Forester's Town just directly to the east of here.
I see.
Said that they trade, but he said that they did not trade with Douglas very much, so they don't know much about it. He did also tell me that they have an unusual ritual every month. They sacrifice an elder priest. He said that they go into the temple with a head, and when they come out, they don't have one, and it helps to give them a good harvest.
That seems a bit strange.
Indeed,
He
he thought so.
We may need to talk to the priest again. Investigate further.
Well,
Maybe talk to the other two people that are here. He'd look over to the man here and here.
perhaps, but he did also tell me that the child who disappeared and came back was coming from the northeast of here. So that would also be a good spot for us to check.
Yes, but we should communicate with the child first. See what he knows, what we're up against, if he even remembers.
I have a suspicion that he most likely won't remember. It seemed as though with Douglas, many of the children who came back did not know where they were or what happened. They just came back with the brand on them.
I see. Maybe the scarecrows are worth investigating. They disappear.
Perhaps.
Maybe the children are dressing up in the scarecrows and running away. Or they could be the source of it all.
I'm not entirely sure about that, but maybe could be worth investigating.
We should investigate. Let us be off.
Investigating which first? I would still like to continue looking for the children. I don't know if the scarecrows are related or not, but
They could be interlinked. We must not rule out every option.
but there'd be no way to really track the scarecrows as far as I know. He says as long as they're being watched, they remain here. But if they're not watched, they'll disappear.
Just because they are standing still does not mean we cannot observe them and investigate under their clothing. They may have something beneath them. Something that's... They should not disappear on their own.
Repeat that, Sonic.
I said that we should investigate these scarecrows just in case, because they could be behind it. Maybe an outside force is commanding them, because they shouldn't be able to move on their own.
Well, how do you propose we do that?
We could grab one of them and just check it, see if the mark that matches the children's is lay upon it. If it does not, then they are not related.
I suppose that's an alright idea. How late is it now?
It's about nighttime. The sun is gone.
He did say that the disappearances happen at night, so suppose we could go check. Perhaps stake it out for a bit, and then we can also check to see if they have any. Max did tell me that the scarecrows disappear at night, so we could stay and see if they move, and we could also check them to see if they had the marks on them, same as the children.
I agree. But it may be worth also figuring out about this ritual of head decapitation with head disappearing. It doesn't seem like their god would want such a thing. Maybe they are praising to the wrong gods.
I am unsure.
Let us investigate. Sonic's just gonna wiggle past Zoll and run outside. Very enthusiastic.
So I was gonna go ahead and follow.
Sonic's gonna run out to the fields and look around for some scarecrows.
You run out to the field, and as you see, the sun has indeed set. The sun is no more on the skies. You have a difficult time seeing out to all of the fields. But you do indeed see that there are less scarecrows now than there were before, and some of the places where there weren't any scarecrows before, there are now scarecrows.
Sonic would slowly walk over to one of the scarecrows that seemingly returned.
What do you want to do with it?
He would like to draw his iron pole and poke it.
You poke the scarecrow.
He'd like to poke it in the face, but try to stab the pole through its face.
You take the pole up and you just poked it through the outer skin, the back. There is its face, and you just poked it through.
Can he remove it from its stand?
You look around. Yeah, you can remove it from the stand. Though it would demand that you are actually tall enough to unbind it by its hands.
How high is it? Sonic would, seeing that it was too tall for him, would decide to break it, the stand.
You grab a hold of the pole. As you just pull it, realize you can't really pull it. Take out the sword. You just cut in a bit. As you just snap it over, getting a few splinters on you. Some of them penetrate the skin a bit. Not too bad. You now have splinters a bit on your arm, but that's about all the damage that it did. The scarecrow is now laying down in the field.
He would now like to go and. Sonic would now go and investigate the scarecrow.
What are you looking for?
Anything, signs of the markings that were on the children, possibly something out of place.
Don't really see anything out of place. There is a mark on it. What do you remember from the mark from the children?
You said it's different from the mark on the children, or?
Do you remember the mark from the children?
Probably not. I'd call over to Zoll and see if he. No.
We could have just tried taking down the scarecrow. I don't know why you had to chop it down.
I did take it down. Sonic would laugh a bit. I did take it down.
Zoll shake his head. This isn't a good way to gain favor with the town.
They will not know. They disappear more than they appear.
As you listen around, you hear you hear the human voices. Hey, the scarecrow over here fell. Maybe it ran away. Quick! As you hear the weed around you start to move as people walk closer into you.
Sonic should quickly put his weapon away.
Zoll, you want to do anything?
Zoll will shake his head at him. He will look, I guess, wherever Sonic was indicating on the scarecrow.
Do you remember what the sign of the children had?
It was a picture that you showed us. I don't have it, so... Unless it's in Discord.
I don't think I actually posted it anywhere. I think I just drew it, and that's it.
Yeah, that might have been...
Because I have it in my small little handbook. Yep, there's no TPK. Mwah. Let's see if I can find, not that one. A Christmas tree with a snake in the middle.
Is that what's on the scarecrow?
No, that was on the children.
But you said there was a sign on the scarecrow? Sonic was pointing out a symbol on the scarecrow?
The symbol on the scarecrow is a black hand on the middle of its chest.
No, this isn't the same symbol as the children had.
I see.
I do hope you have an explanation for these people.
Would we have any knowledge of what the symbol might mean or anything like that?
What's a good knowledge check?
Okay. Nature.
Either history
Or just history?
history.
Okay.
The black hand is usually used from in most histories that you have heard about. mainly from Charles. A black hand usually means that a necromancer has been in play.
I see. Zoll, this is the mark of a necromancer. This could be the thing we are looking for. Stealing the children away. Moving in the night.
Not very long after, you see all the humans surround you guys, as they all have a very deep sigh. Oh. Oi! As they suddenly line up. Are you here to steal our scarecrows?
Zoll looks at Sonic.
We're not trying to steal your scarecrows. We walked by and it fell. You would say, trying to trick them a little bit. Using his deception.
Oh yeah, that's good, would ya? Let's just add in the actual scarecrow. I can see on the log, you've got it through!
How would I have cut it through? All I have is an iron pole. He'd just pull it out.
Another man just... Yeah? And what with your sword?
What sword? He tries to hide it away.
Oi, mate! Give us back our scarecrow! And we won't show you to the chief priest as next month's sacrifice.
I do not want your scarecrow. I only inquired and tried to understand the symbol that lay upon it. It is the mark of a necromancer. Why the hell did they go British?
Why, that's good. That's good for you. Now, unless you have a new pole we can put it on, I suggest you get the hell out of here.
Would you like to take my iron pole? He'd slowly hold it out.
Aye, that could do. One of the men takes it and checks the wood, stomps it in, and the rest of the men just quickly goes over to help. On top of each other back, the other end of the wooden pole just is placed on top of the pole, and it is now 16 feet in the air total.
Well, pretty tall pole.
Well, the pole itself was 8 feet, and the wood pole itself was 9 feet.
Sonic would just gesture to Zoll. You should go talk to the lead priest and ask him about the necromancy. He might be the one in charge, and the people seem to condone these sacrifices.
Zoll will go ahead and leave, making his way back towards the church.
As you try to leave, the lady is in the back, which you most likely didn't hear at first, since the man was doing the most noise. They stop you on your track. That's no good for you. As the man is... This demands a payment. You destroyed one of our scarecrows.
I did not destroy it, but I did help you in making your scarecrow a bit taller. It's better. Now it may not be able to move away.
The men look up. Oi! What about the hole in its face?
That was there when I found it. Or when I chopped it down. I was wondering what was wrong with it.
We check all of our scarecrows as they return.
But that one had just returned, so how would you know?
Then this would be the first scarecrow that would have a hole in its face.
It seems it would. You should take it as a sign.
A sign for what?
Someone's catching on to your necromancer issue.
We have necromancer issues? They all
Yep.
look at each other.
Yes. The symbol marking that scarecrow is the Black Hand. We know this from a sorcerer of our old home. His name was Charles. The reason these creatures move is because of a necromancer. It's plain as day.
One of the ladies from behind joins up. Do you mean Charles the Necromancer?
He may have had that name before, but he has long been forgotten. He is a good man now.
Once a necromancer, always a necromancer.
Then who is the one who is making these scarecrows move? Because he's a necromancer himself. Who is the man who's created these necromancers in the first place?
Guys, I think these guys are trying to fool us. If they came from one necromancer, they're just filling us with lies.
Look at your scarecrows yourself. Each should be marked with a hand. They all leave and they all return.
So?
That in itself shows that one among you is a necromancer.
And who would you think that is? Me?
No.
Him?
No.
She points towards Zoll. Him?
No. It's not a good laugh a bit. Who do you think it would be? Your god does not demand the sacrifice, but who leads you in that?
We don't sacrifice to Paylor. We sacrifice to a great harvest. Mixing the body with our fertilizer to give it more strength.
Ah. That's a little... Sonic would scratch his head a bit. That's a little weird.
Why? All know that's people, that cows, that cats make great nutrition for our crops.
But what happens to their heads?
They're cut off and given back so that the family have something to bury.
And why did the scarecrows move? He'd ask, questioning everything that he's thought.
We don't know about the scarecrows.
Well, they have the mark of a necromancer. Someone here is a necromancer.
or you have just walked around and placed a hand on them on your own.
This is the first day I've been in. This is the first time I've ever come to the city. He'd get a
Friend
little
of
bit.
Charles the Necromancer.
Sonic would get a little bit agitated and angry, just going around in circles with the conversation. I am not evil. I am just trying to help. I'm on a quest, he'd yell.
So trying to scare us now, are you?
No, you're just agitating me. He'd becoming a little bit short-tempered.
So, but you get angry is the sign of you're losing this conversation. And you are actually the one placing the hand on these scarecrows.
No, just look through my bag. I don't have no paint or mud.
You don't need no mud. You said this is your first day here. You could have just have walked in here and just repainted it with something on your own hand.
The thing is, the entire day I was here, I spoke with the children and your priests. So how would I have had time to talk, to interact with these scarecrows?
Because if you say the entire day, we have been in the fields the entire day and you showed up about 2 hours ago.
Yeah, so how was I even in the freaking scarecrows? I was walking here. Sonic's rage beginning to boil as he looked to Zoll to help him, because he wanted to just cut everyone to pieces.
Seeing Sonic looking, I guess, angry.
Very
Oh.
angry.
Zoll go ahead and speak up and say, "We've not branded your scarecrows with any mark. We simply came to see if they had anything strange about them. We'd heard from your priest that your scarecrows had been gone missing. We wanted to investigate a bit, see if we could help you discover where they've gone to."
None of us has seen where they went. But I believe I now know that Charles is involved somehow.
What do you mean?
Well, your friend says that he knows Charles the Necromancer, and says that a necromancer is doing all of this. So Charles could be doing all of this. And you just hear all the men and the other women just, "Oi! She has a point!"
That is very, very, very unlikely. So I've also met Charles, and he is... He's back where we came from, which is quite some ways away. There's no way he could have actually been here to brand your scarecrows. And even if he were here, I'm sure you would have seen him. You work the field all day, don't you?
Yeah?
And you've not seen Charles at all, have you?
No?
Then how could he have branded your scarecrows or stolen any of them?
Well, they're gone.
Yes, and we're trying to help you figure out where they've gone to, as well as helping the neighboring town who also have had issues with their children disappearing.
Children disappearing. Oh, how sad.
Yes, we are helping them as well. We thought that the scarecrows and the children disappearing might be connected. They may well be, but we're not entirely sure.
After Sonic's intimidation, you see she's starting to get a bit, not only scared, but also a bit sad. think the scarecrows and my son have something to do with each other?
Your son?
Yes,
Zoll says.
he disappeared a few months ago.
Oh, was he the child who returned? I know the priest told me of a child disappearing a few months ago.
Yes, he returned. I'm so happy about that. But he disappeared. I was so scared I'd never see it again.
When he came back, did he happen to say anything? It could help us determine where they're disappearing to.
He was too scared. All he could say that they were torturing him.
I see. That is quite understandable. And we're looking to help you all so that no more of your children disappear.
What?
We're looking to investigate the disappearing children. And if we find the source, we'll eliminate it so that no more of your children will disappear.
Oh, that sounds good. Follow me back, and I'll show you. I'll talk to my son for you.
Thank you, Zoll would bow. It would be most helpful. It could help us determine the source.
So you swear to the goddess, to the god of Palor that Charles has nothing to do with all this?
I am most certain Charles has nothing to do with this. And me and my friend here, he pats Sonic, will look to determine who is actually behind all this.
But do you swear Charles has nothing to do with all this?
Sonic would begin to boast a bit.
If Charles has anything to do with this, your god may light me aflame.
I believe that's a good enough swearing. If we are lying, then your god Palor shall light him aflame.